Nyberg, a quick-thinking Middletown man keeps Connecticut's heroin crisis from taking another life. A crash in front of him on the highway. Heroin baggies right near the victim. News 8's Bob Wilson talked to police about the dangers of drug driving.
Yeah, he was driving to work. He says it was in the morning, just his morning commute, when all of a sudden a car starts careening out of control. And he says he never would have thought that the victim was high. It looked more like she was asleep. But we talked to enforcement officers about this, and drug agents say, you know what? There is an increase with the heroin overdoses. There's an increase with drug driving. The drugs a problem driving?
They absolutely are a problem. It's impairment just like alcohol.
Officer Scott Plourde is a drug recognition expert from Manchester Police Department. He's one of 20 statewide, with another 10 graduating this month. Because with the heroin epidemic comes an increase in drug driving.
Impairment is a big problem. It's not necessarily marijuana. We're finding a big increase in heroin overdoses while driving, as well as prescription drugs also.
Justin Tolarski of Middletown witnessed a drug driver on his way into work Friday morning.
Car in front of me started bouncing off the guardrails, one side to the other, just oh my God. And so I pulled over and watched her as she just was grinding down the Jersey barrier.
At first, he says he thought the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. But when he approached the car, he recognized the signs of a heroin overdose, and he ran to retrieve the Narcan kit from his car.
There were heroin bags between her legs. I mean, if you don't know what those look like, then you obviously would know. But I mean, her lips were blue, her face was blue, and she had track marks up and down her arms.
So Justin says here he is by the side of the road, cars whizzing by, and he's inside the car getting ready to give the Narcan. And people around said, wait, what if she isn't high on heroin? He says that's the beauty of Narcan. You can give it, and if there's no heroin overdose, there are no problems.
Some people were basically just like, don't touch her, don't give it to her, wait for the paramedics to come. But if we had waited for them to show up, she probably wouldn't have made it. I mean, honestly, when we got the car open, she was not breathing.
I asked him about it, and I said, why did you have the Narcan with you? He said, I do have friends who are battling with addiction, and it's always best to be prepared. He's taken a first aid kit. That was part of it. He said there are other things you can do, a sternum rub where you rub up against their sternum really hard or across their lips. That's taught to kind of shock them back. Overall, his actions saved her life. She is doing much better tonight. He has been in communication with her. I'm Bob Wilson reporting live, News 8.